Speaker will be evaluated by our current VPE, who is Mr. Percy Mabizela. Percy, can you share with us the objectives of our speaker's speech, please?
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Our speaker, Gericke Zondagh, has a purpose that his project speech is supposed to practice using vocal variety as well as body language to enhance his speech. Ladies and gentlemen, Gericke's speech is between 5 to 7 minutes, and he'll be speaking to the speech title, Lessons in Financial Planning. Mr. Toastmaster, back to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, to speak to us to the title, Lessons in Financial Planning. Lessons in Financial Planning, please welcome Gericke Zondagh.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. In Ernest Hemingway's novel, The Sun Also Rises, a character named Mike was asked, how did he become bankrupt? And he answered 2 ways. Gradually, then suddenly. So many people fear financial planning, and for the life of me, I can't understand why. Maybe it's the fear of the unknown. Financial planning isn't taught in school, and each individual is left to their own devices to try and figure out the intricacies of financial planning. Maybe it's the fear of the confirmation of what they already know. Trouble is on the way. Today I'm going to share a few lessons that I've learned in my first few years as a certified financial planner. Lesson 1. A lot of people want to be rich, but very few people work to be wealthy. It's easy to see a rich person and say, that is my goal, that is the life I want to lead. But leading a rich lifestyle is very easy. It's just spending all the money you have, not making any provision. It's really easy to appear rich. But what does it help to appear rich when you don't have enough funds to cover a medical emergency or a family emergency, or even worse, provide for yourself after retirement? That burden will fall back on your loved ones and your family or your spouse, and you will drain their finances. As Mr. Demiso said, get off my back. You should rather strive to be wealthy rather than flashy, and look after yourself first. Wealthy people have a strong balance sheet. They don't spend money they don't have, and they value the long-term picture. My next lesson is it's better to have a bird in hand than 2 in the bush. This old adage is as true today as it was back then. A lot of people say they will start saving as soon as they receive their salary increase, or as soon as the kids are out of the house, or as soon as, and they never start. Now, starting early is one of the most beneficial things you can do for yourself. And I'm going to explain this by way of an example. If you have 2 investors, Jack and Joel, twins. Jack started investing at the age of 20, putting away 1,000 rand a month with 11% return on the investment and a 6% increase on his contribution. Joel did the exact same. Instead, she started at age 30 and she contributed 2,000 rand a month. So twice as much for 75% of the time. She needs to catch up. At the end of the investment term, at age 16, Jack ended with just shy of 14 million rand. That's about 13,800,000 rand. Joel, on the other hand, ended up with 8.5 million. That's a 5 million rand difference just for starting sooner. Quite a convincing argument for starting now rather than later. My third lesson is manage your expectations. The average amateur investor preaches buy low, sell high. We all know this. But if you go look at the data, in reality, the average amateur investor buys high and sells low. And the media is partly to blame for this, as they catch your attention with phrases like become a millionaire by 25 or do this and you'll become a millionaire. And they convince you that it's quick and easy to get rich. And you can get quite disheartened when your investments don't meet your expectations. Unfortunately, investment returns aren't linear. Your returns might come in the beginning of the investment term, or at the end, or as we've seen in the South African market, no returns for 5 years between 2015 and 2020, and all the returns at the end of 2020, 2021 and the beginning of 2022, and now we're down again. So investment returns aren't linear. And just to add a little cherry on top there, or throw a spanner in the works rather, we have a market correction every 5 to 7 years. And now with modern technology, those corrections are becoming more frequent. Just shooting your emotions are going on a roller coaster ride. Every time your fund value drops with 30%, what do? It's really important at that stage to manage your expectations and your emotions. By managing your emotions, you will give yourself a chance to patiently think through it and just wait for the market to recover. Stay invested through the entire market cycle and reap the rewards at the end of the investment term. By just managing your expectations, you could add 2 to 3% per annum to your investment value over your investment term. And the last lesson I can give the average Joe is go see a professional to help you through the pitfalls of financial planning. Remember, it's easy to be rich, but to be wealthy, you need to be patient. It's better to have bird in hand than two in the bush. Start as early as possible and manage your expectations. The market and the magic of compound interest will reward you. Thank you, Mr. President.